Okay. All right. So let's do it. We'll start with the invocation. Place your hands together in front of your heart. Rest your thumbs lightly along your sternum. And with your thumbs, create a gentle downward pressure. And against that gentle downward pressure, lift your chest up. Do 3 ohms all together. Inhale. Repeat after me. Sahana vavatu. Sahanau bunaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina varitamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Sahana vavatu. Sahanau bunaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina varitamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Sahana vavatu. Sahanau bunaktu. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina varitamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti. 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 Bow your head to your heart. Lower your hands to your legs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay, awesome. Start on all fours. Yeah, it's so much better, right? It's like, it's all those vas, like a lot of vish. I mean, anyway, there's a lot of repeating sounds that aren't common. Okay. Yeah, I like it too. Plus, you don't have like, what I like about it too is you don't have to get into like really big Lord Shiva and, like it's not quite as religious, I mean, which I'm fine with, but anyway. Okay, separate your knees, be a little wider than your hips. Bring your big toes together and lift your chin up. Then move your navel towards your spine and bring your hips back to your heels. If you keep your chin up for a moment, then push your hands down and forward. You'll feel your hips anchor against your heels. Move your navel in more, press your hips down into your heels more, and then place your forehead and your nose on the floor. So you're playing with the energy here in kind of two different ways. Pushing down and forward will help you root your hips. And if you take over that work with the strength of your belly, the action of your tailbone, then stretch your hands out more in front of you, you'll stretch your spine. So down and forward creates rooting. Stretching out in front of you creates, well, stretching. With your inhale, come up to all fours. Turn your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. And walk your hands back to your feet for Uttanasana. For this opening Uttanasana, take your feet hip distance apart if they're not already there. Place your fingertips on the floor and bend your elbows out to your sides. Squeeze the muscles of your legs. Squeeze your shoulders towards one another. And at first, for this one, lift your chin out of your chest and bring your chest closer to your knees. And when you can't get any more folded in this position, let your head hang. Place your hands on your hips. Bring your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up. Inhale and come on up. Good. Exhale. Join your feet and your legs together. Place your hands together in front of your heart. With your right leg, take a big giant step lunge forward. And stretch your arms up over your head. So we call these the warrior salutes. Come up, make your left leg very strong at your kneecap. Then come high onto your left toes. So from your left heel to your low belly, lift up. And then carry that line of energy up through your hands and stretch up. Then lift your chin. Give yourself a double chin to take your throat back. And then look back, stretch up and reach back. Then stand up and go turn over your left leg. Same basic move here. Push down through your left heel. Then with your right heel, bring your right heel so that you come all the way more up onto your right toes. Tighten your right kneecap. Create one fluid line of energy from your right heel up to your navel, to your chest, to your hands. Then lift your chin, take your throat back, back, back like a double chin. Then press your head back to look at the wall behind you. Stretch up and back. Inhale, come on up. Place your hands on the floor. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale fully. And exhale. Inhale one more time. And as you exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. So these warrior salutes, place your hands on your hips, your shoulders towards one another, lift your chin up, inhale and come on up. Really anywhere from a straight line to a big deep back bend. Place your hands in front of your heart. Step forward with your left leg, big giant step lunge. And one thing that I find is the first two, I'm just pretty happy to be in a Vera 1 situation, just straight up and down. Bring your right heel up into your hip, lift up through your hands. Look up, bring your chin back, then look up and back. Stretch up. And as we go through them, reach up and back, I'm able to make the back bend deeper. But you're in charge of how far back you go. It's a warm-up. It's not like a finished thing. And come on up. Turn over your right leg. Sit deep. Squeeze your left kneecap strong. Come up high onto your left toes. Move your navel in. Stretch up. And this will be stage one. Chin up, throat back, head back. Stretch up, and then reach back like you're taking your prayer along the ceiling to the wall back behind you. Then stand up straight. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale one more time. And then as you exhale, walk your hands back to your feet and fold. Place your hands on your hips. Bring your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up and stand up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Good. Okay, step forward with your right leg. Big giant step lunge. This next piece in together, so stretch up. We'll practice the next piece. So step into your right foot and place your left shin down on the floor, about 3 inches to behind and to the left of your heel. Bring your chin to your chest, your forehead to your knee, your hands between your second toe and your big toe. Tone your belly, move your navel to your spine. Then inhale, come on up. Push your right heel down into the floor, stretch up. Again, straight up and down is fine, or back. Lift your chin up, take your throat back, 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 then look back. Stretch up. So first thing is when you look at the ceiling, look for a point on the ceiling and then reach for it. And then once you reach to the point that you see, take your eyes over the top of your head and look further back and then reach for that point. When you reach that, pull your arms away from your hips, take your head back more and reach for the next point. Inhale, come on up. Place your hands on the floor for a lunge. And then chaturanga. Well, plank and then chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And as you exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Fold. Place your hands on your hips. Bring your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up and stand up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Step forward with your left leg. Big giant step lunge. Tighten your right kneecap. Come forward onto your right toes. Stretch up. We'll just keep this one straight up and down. And then sit deep into your left heel. Place your right shin down onto the floor. Again, it's pretty close in, about 3 inches behind and to the right. Bring your chin to your chest, your forehead to your knee. It's malleable. You don't have to get a protractor out. It's just, or a ruler, but closer than Anjaneyasana, closer than a deep lunge. And it'll be hard to balance at first. Right and over. That's when you know you have it right. Okay, inhale, come on up. So one thing that helps a lot with the balance is to push your left heel down into the floor and stretch up. Then look up. Then move your throat back and then look back. And then find a place that you can see on the wall, maybe where the wall meets the ceiling. Stretch your arms up away from your hips and then back to that place. Then look a foot down the wall. And then pull and reach back and go to that place. And then look further down and reach for that place. Inhale, come on up. I know, good times. Plank. Yeah, go back, maybe not so much. If your front heel starts to lift, pound it down and don't go quite down so far. Up dog or cobra, because that'll help govern the balance a lot. Down dog. And, you know, this one is another one of those that's like from anywhere straight up and down. And some folks you'll see touch the floor behind them. You know, so it's like don't hold yourself back. Okay, well, walk your hands back to your feet. I know. Place your hands on your hips. Right. This lifetime or next. Come on up. I know. So it's kind of like, where's the optimal form? Well, it's your warm up. So optimal form is where you can breathe, enjoy it, keep going. But it's maybe optimal for one person up and someone else it's way back. Step your. Yeah, sure.
This is the one thing I have issues with my head for some reason.
Yeah.
Just letting it, I know lift the chin, double chin,
Yeah.
stand back, but then
Yeah.
eventually you let the head go.
Yeah. It's got to go way, 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 way back. But not like bowling ball back. It's like two take your hand to the back of your head. It's a super good question. It's like right there where your occipital ridge, right where the base of your skull and your neck join, that place is a pushing back. So when you take your head back and your chin up, you push like there's something right there, and then take your other hands at the top of your head. So even as you push into your first hand back, you extend through your top hand to go back, and it's both. Very active push, very active reach, but then huge big bend in your cervical spine for sure. Yeah, I mean, this will make your neck strong, but if your neck isn't strong enough to do it, it'll make your neck hurt. Yeah, and so, always it's your neck, and anyone who's ever hurt their neck, like, your whole nervous system runs through your neck. So if your neck's having trouble, you're having trouble. So way better, all this can be done with your head behind your ears, right in between your your ears right in between your arms. So the whole thing can be done without taking your head back. What you get by taking your head back is the gaze, and that when the arms are in the overhead plane in this position, it's hard to get into your upper back with your head right there. And when you lift your chin, take your throat back, and take your head back, that muscular effort in your neck starts to open the thoracic spine. So you get the bend in the upper back in this position by using your head that you could kind of get here without taking your head back. So, and when we get our arms up straight like this, such a good question, when we get our arms up straight like this, the thing is, you're a long lever, so it takes a lot of strength and develops more core strength to get the bend. But it's a warm-up, so you can certainly be like this doing it. Okay. Totally fine. Yeah. Yeah.
So if your head can go back, but your arms can't go back any further, should you not take your head back? Should you keep your
No. Take your head way, 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 way back. And then, because your head, you'll start to see that point, and your hands will be up there.
Okay.
And then when your hands see the point here, then you look here, and then you start to reach here. And so if you see where you're going all the way down the wall, you'll start to go deeper by using your eyes and by using your head. What we don't do in the beginning is we got beginners and they look like this and they come in the door and they do poses like cobra, like this. And their arms are like this and there's no bend in their back, but their neck is the only thing bending back. So we do a lot in the beginning. We say, look straight ahead, get your arms back, get your back bend happening. That's kind of like beginning to intermediate stage work. Well, beginning level work. But then once you get that, you can get some bend in your upper back, you can use your head a lot. And especially when you want to do drop backs from standing in Urdhva Dhanurasana, if you don't take your head back, you don't see the floor. And it's a blind fall. So it starts, but you never want to take your head back at the expense of your neck. So it's always like...
So when you cue double chin, I love that.
Yeah.
People get that.
Yeah.
Do you look forward and then give yourself a double chin and then look up?
Yeah, the first chin lift is to establish the natural curve of the cervical spine. So it's and the only reason we say lift your chin is because most of us walk around looking down. So to get to neutral, it's a lift. And then and if you take your hand like in this C shape and swallow, there's a bone that bounces up and down. That's the hyoid bone. And if you take your other hand to your low belly and then stick your throat out, and do the double chin, and then stick your throat out, and feel underneath your belly hand what happens to your low belly when you do that double chin. You should feel a tone come to the low belly. So the hyoid bone, when it moves back and the head moves back into alignment, you get a subsequent toning to the pelvic floor and to the low belly, which then also protects the back and the back bends because there's tone here, not just a bend in the back. So it's not as much as the outer tone of make your abs really strong, but it's a more internal tone. So, and it has even to do with the digestion, that when we swallow, it starts to turn on our digestive tract and all the whole long story with that. But the double chin is action. So you put a natural curve in. This is an integrative move, which also stabilizes the pelvic, the muscles in the low belly. But then the final one, the next part is that part we were talking about. It's a bigger lift and a press back. Then there's an extension and a reach so that you're keeping both sides of the neck as long as possible until the very last, when you have to eventually take the form of the pose, which has a big bend. But the idea is, as you take your neck back, you're taking it back as evenly as possible, which is different than just take your head back. Which, yeah. So those are good. It's like worth spending time on because it's kind of nebulous for so many people, you know. And so that we get the big answer, just take it back, or we get like, oh, just look straight ahead and take the problem away. But these things will build strength. But again, if they're building, if you're not, if you're doing too much, too soon, too fast, then they're not strengthening. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, throw your head back. Yeah, exactly. Throw it back intentionally, conscientiously in these 5 steps. Okay, step your right foot forward. We'll put it together with the turn. It's like there's the cues, and then what do we mean by those cues? Squeeze your left knee, and then bring your left heel forward. Lift your low belly up, stretch up. Then lift your chin, that's your natural curve. Then hyoid bone back, 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 back. That integrates the curve and strengthens your neck. Then press the back of your head back, simultaneously extend through the top of your head and look back. Then find a point on the ceiling and stretch up and reach to it. Once you touch that point that you can see, take your eyes over the top of your head, stretch back more. Then come on up. Good turn. Better. Yay, it's worth a little discussion. Come up high onto your right toes, move your navel in and up, stretch up. Lift your chin up, take your throat back, 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 back. Then press your head back at the very back of your head. Simultaneously extend through the back of your head and out through the top, and look up and look back. Then reach for the point that you can see. And then when you can see it, pull your hands away from your hips and reach further back. And then come on up. Touch down on, step into your left leg, place your right shin down onto the floor. Bring your chin to your chest, your forehead to your knee, your hands between your big toe and your second toe. And then make your arms straight. That'll make sure that you round your back. Yeah, it's bad news. Okay, good, then come on up. Press down through your back heel, lift up through your arms, lift your chin, hyoid bone, back, 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 back. Press your skull back, extend through the top of your head, look up and back. Reach up and then back. Then inhale and come on up. I know. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Place your hands on your hips, your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up and stand up. Place your hands in front of your heart. Last time through. Step forward with your left leg, big giant step lunge. Come up high onto your right toes, tighten your right kneecap, lift your low belly up. So you just go up your body, heel, knee, low belly, chest, stretch up, chin up, throat back, 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 back. Press your head back, extend out through the top of your head, and look up, look back. Then reach for the place that you see. Then use your eyes to look further down the wall or beyond where you can see and reach for that. And inhale, come on up. Breathe, other side. Last one. But you're getting deeper back bends in the opening too, so that's kind of, yeah, that's the thing. First one, it's like, I'm happy just be straight up and down. Bring your heel up, stretch up. And that's also, you may just be happy to be there anyway. Chin up, throat back, back, back. Press your skull back, back of your skull back. Extend out through the top of your head and go back. Stretch up and back. And use your eyes so that you reach for what you see. Inhale, come on up. Step into your right leg. Place your left shin down onto the floor. Bring your chin to your chest. Your forehead to your knee. Your hands between your second toe and your big toe. And then come on up. So sometimes we deepen back bending kinds of things, with big, massive plugging in. But for this, stretch out so this whole shoulder girdle moves, and that's going to help you go back further. Lift your chin, take your throat back, 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 back. Press your head back. Look back. Then reach up so your shoulder girdle moves towards the ceiling. And with that
outward action, reach for the place that you see. Press your pelvis forward, press your right heel down, lift your chest up, look back, and then pull your arms back to that place that you see. Yeah, come on up.
All right. Place your hands down. Chaturanga.
Up dog.
Down dog. It's been pretty warm for 20 minutes into things. Okay. This time, look between your two hands. Step or jump forward to Uttanasana. Extend your spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, move your navel in as you fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Stretch up, join your palms. And exhale, Anjali Mudra. So we got 16 count sun salutations here. So this is stage 1. Stretch your arms up. You can also do a back bend. Depends on your back here. Exhale, bend forward and fold. Position 3. Bend your knees, squat. Position 4. Step your left leg back. Position 5. Lift your chin up. 6. Step your right leg back. 7. Lower down to Chaturanga. 8. Then push back up. 8. Step your left leg forward. 7. Tuck your chin. 6. Step forward and squat. 5. Lift your hips up. 4. Stand up with your hands in Anjali. 3. Stretch up and back. 2. And Tadasana. 1. 1. Stretch up and back. 2. Bend forward. 3. Squat deeply. 4. Take your right leg back. 5. Lift your chin up. 6. High plank. 7. Chaturanga. 8. Push up. 8. Step your right leg forward. 7. Tuck your chin. 6. Step forward and squat. 5. Lift your hips up. 4. Stand up. 3. Reach up and back. 2. Tadasana. 1. Again. 1, 2, 3. Squat. Left leg back. 5. Chin up. 6. High plank. 7. 8. Push up. 8. Step your left leg forward. 7. Tuck your chin. 6. Squat. Hips up. 4. Stand up. 3. Reach up and back. 2. Tadasana. 1. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left leg back. 5. Chin up. 6. High plank. 7. Low plank. 8. 8. Lunge. 7. Tuck your chin. 6. Squat. 5. Hips up. 4. Stand up. 3. Up and back. 2. Tadasana. 1. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Squat. Right leg back. Chin up. 7. 8. Push up. 8. Right leg forward. 7. Tuck your chin. 6. Squat. 5. Hips up. 4. Stand up. 3. Reach up and back. 2. Tadasana. And 1. Awesome. All right. Got some standing poses. Amen. Stretch your arms up over your head. Interlace your hands. Extend your forefinger. Okay, good. Then shift your hips to the left and tilt your torso to the right. So the literal shift out of Tadasana with your hips as far to the left as you can. And then bring your left hip bone slightly forward. So if you were looking at yourself in the mirror, they'd be in 2 lines. Then bring your bottom shoulder blade forward so that your armpits are lined up. Stretch your arms away from your hips. Push your feet down, empty your breath, and tilt. I know. Come on up. Other sides, shift your hips to the left, tilt to the right. So typically, for most of us, the common thing that happens is our right hip shifts back. So bring your right hip forward enough that it comes even with your left hip bone. Then bring your left shoulder blade forward so it's even with your right armpit. Move your navel in, lift your chest towards your chin, squeeze your legs, push your feet down, empty your breath, and tilt. All right, good, come on up. I know, standing back arch. Lift your chin, here it is. Throat back, 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 back. Then press your skull, base of your skull back as you extend out through the top of your head and look back.
Find a point where the wall meets the ceiling, then stretch your arms up away from your hips and reach back to touch that point. Bring your pelvis forward, push your heels down, pull your hands away from your hips and reach back. And do that same work we did, just find a point, look for it, reach for it. Then find another point, reach for it. Then inhale, come on up. All right, exhale, bend your knees. Take the palms of your hands around the backs of your ankles. So you got your hands like blades and your fingertips touch just behind your heels. Right here, this position with bending your knees and resting your belly on your thighs, it gives support to your lower back. So you've got the support along the front side. That gives you a little breathing moment. All right, then stretch your elbows towards the wall behind you so that your inner shoulder touches your outer shins. And then close your outer forearms as close together behind you as you can. Those are your ulna bones, that outside bone along the pinky finger side of your arm. All right, now place your head between your two legs, right between your shins. All that, keep that, and slowly squeeze your knees straighter and straighter and straighter. With your legs as straight as possible and your belly against your thighs, roll some weight forward into the balls of your feet. Now push your fingertips straight down into the floor and lift your shoulder blades away from your ears towards your hips. So it's as though the outer sheath of your muscles and your bones, that outer layer, lift that towards your hips. That's your shoulder blades. Now from your coccyx to your chest all the way to your head, stretch your spine towards your feet. Awesome. Squeeze your legs strong. Place your hands on your hips, your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up and stand up. All right, exhale. Take your arms up over your head. Join your palms. Then bring your hands a little bit in front of you. Utkatasana, next pose. Sit deep. All right, squeeze your knees together. And then stick your butt out and reach your hips back to where the wall meets the ceiling behind you. Keep the weight in your heels. Now your big challenge here is to keep your thighs down deep. Move your navel into your spine so that it comes up off your thighs at this point. Then lift your chest up like the standing back arch. Navel in, chest up, navel in, chest up. Stretch your arms away from your hips and then stand up. I know, Tadasana. Okay, stretch your arms up, Garudasana. Take your right arm underneath your left. But isn't it great in this kind of practice we just do them once? I know, yeah, exactly. Well, you make the one count, but it's not like, okay, now try it again. You just give it a whirl, and then we go. Pull your arms forward. Big challenge here is to get your elbows as far down towards your belly button as you can, but not your chest down. Yeah, so it's like torso upright, elbows down. Then sit down deep like Utkatasana. Transfer your weight to your left leg and take your right leg up over and hook it around. Squeeze your outer knees together. Like you did in Utkatasana, reach your buttocks back. That'll open up the hips. Then move your navel in, pull your elbows to your belly button, and then lift your chest like the standing back arch. So there's a dual action here also of a rounded upper back and a back bend. Good, then switch sides. Stretch your left arm up. Both arms up, and then take your left arm underneath. Pull your arms forward and down. Then sit down deep. Transfer your weight to your right leg. Take your left leg up, over, and hook it around. It's one of the things I love about teaching, alignment-based public classes is we do little bits at a time to build the poses progressively, and you sort of sort it all out and practice little component parts and put it all together in a big ta-da. Okay, squeeze your outer knees together, bring your hips back, move your navel in, and pull your elbows down. Then lift your chest up, chest up. In a practice like this, we give the pose a go, and then we move on. Okay, come on up. And then all the poses work together for an overall ta-da. And so how this has been, we did that big flexion and extension in the opening postures to get the legs warmed up and the spine prepared for flexion and extension, back bending and forward bending, or forward bending and back bending. And then those lunge-based sun salutations do a lot to just lubricate the joints and those deep bends in the hips. And then we do lateral flexion, back bending, forward bending, big firing of the legs, strengthening of the back, and then that one opens up the joints. So instead of taking each little pose apart to make for the perfect pose, this kind of practice links a bunch of poses off for a full spectrum opening. And there's different strategies. So to me, it's like the perfect thing. I'm preaching a little bit to the choir. Perfect thing is go to a class and get like lots of details about the individual poses. And then practice like this is like, oh, of all the things I know, I put it into motion, I practice it, and a little bit different than just instruction.
How, when you just do left pose, kind of estimating how long do you hold each one?
5 breaths to a minute. Yeah. Transfer your weight to your left leg, Vrikshasana, tree pose. Depending on how long you breathe, 5 breaths is a long time. But yeah, but you could move through them even like 3 breaths each. If you wanted to get through the sequence real quickly, you could do like, if you don't mess around getting into it, you don't do all your wiggle, all the kind of make everything perfect, just do the pose, go right to it. You can get a lot done in 3 full, strong breaths, holding the pose, and then kind of keeping the heat up that way. Stretch your arms up. So some of the sequences I've compiled over the courses of the Junkies, like we can take over 2 hours to do them in a group practice, and I might, if I'm traveling, get through the whole sequence in an hour, just kind of bust it out a little bit. And I'm not having to explain it to somebody, or we don't answer questions or do it more than once, but you can get the same thing done pretty quickly. Just it's different. Switch sides.
Like your videos.
Yeah, yeah. Right, yeah. Those are like the ones that Kelly put together with those static pictures when it's like, yeah, do not try this at home. Right, stretch up.
And last time we did tree pose together, you said bring your heels slightly forward, so it opens the hips, is that true?
Yeah, it's the action is push your heel into your inner thigh and your inner thigh against your heel. So that gives you the midline. Yeah, and then once you have that, your balance is good. More refinement is to draw your inner left heel into the center of the room to externally rotate your leg more. And you could marry that action in your inner heel by pulling out from your left knee up into your hip, and that'll open up the hip to the side more. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, good. And then lower your hands down. Yay, it's working. Okay, step your right foot to the right. It's not synchronized swimming, right? Keep your left foot straight ahead, turn your right leg out. Trikonasana. Squeeze your legs, lift your chest, exhale and go. So really that same external rotation action that we just talked about in Vrikshasana, you could do here, except your foot's not going to move much. So you can even look down at your right foot and push it into the floor. But if you were to drag your inner right heel forward the same way you did in Trikonasana, you might feel that you could scoop your right buttocks under more and tone your outer right hip more. Yeah. Press down through your back leg, pull up through your top arm, inhale, come on up. Turn your right foot straight ahead and turn your left leg out. Squeeze your legs, lift your chest, exhale, go. My experience in the study of asana, practice of asana in different ways is if we only analyze the poses and try to get them perfect and break everything down every time, sometimes we don't just get the feeling of fluid practice, and let the poses work on us and get that sense of conditioning and just dynamic expression that happens from that. And it gets very analytical. And my experience is if we never analyze, we're doing all that dynamic action without the same intelligence. So press down through your back leg. I like both. Inhale, come on. Turn your left foot straight ahead. Turn your right leg out. Bend your right leg. Parshvakonasana. Place your right hand on the floor. Stretch your left arm over your head, right up by your ear. If you can get it behind, if you can get your bicep behind your ear by sucking your arm bone back, it's even better placement. Now remember in those opening poses, I said pull your shoulders away from your hips. So even here, push down into the floor and stretch your left arm to the wall until you feel even the skin along the side of your torso stretch. Press down, inhale, come on up. Second side. It's sort of like the old school kind of practice and all is coming sort of thing that says that the practice will teach you everything that you need to know. I think that's a nice sentiment. But my experience is like that's probably true, but that doesn't mean I understood what it was telling me. Like it was teaching me everything I needed to know, but it was like in a foreign language. It was like teaching me in Swahili, and the only thing I knew a little bit of English and Sanskrit. That was it. Press down, come up. So we do need, I think, help cracking the code. Stretch up. And turn your left leg in strongly. Turn your right leg out. All right. Squeeze your legs. And the first order of business is to get your hips as square as possible. And then the second order of business is to get your rib cage square to the back wall. You may or may not get your hips square. They may not make it all the way around, but you can certainly put the twist in your spine some to get your chest facing straight ahead. Push your left foot down into the floor and sit heavy into your front heel. Virabhadrasana 1. Same thing like those opening warriors. You can look straight ahead, especially if the opening warrior work is done like what you can do with your neck for today. It's totally fine. Lift your chin, move your throat back, 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 back. Then press your head back as you extend it back and stretch your arms up. Then straighten your front leg and turn. Turn your right leg in strongly, stretch up as you turn around. Use your legs to square your hips. It's like you're squeezing something between them. Move your navel in, stretch up. And again, once you get your hips as square as you can, bring your rib cage around. It's very much like the bottom shoulder and crescent pose action. Stretch up and sit deep. Stretch your arms up, lift your chin up, take your throat back, 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 back. Press your head back. Then straighten your front leg, turn a quarter turn, and take your hands back behind you in reverse prayer. If you don't do reverse prayer, grab hold of your elbows. If that's still too much, grab hold of your hands and interlace them. Still too much, you can place your hands on your hips. Still too much, you just take your hands on the floor when we bend forward. Turn your left leg in strongly. Turn your right leg out. Like you did in Vira 1, squeeze your legs towards one another. Lift your navel in and up. Lift your chin up. Here's your double chin. Back, back, back. And then press your head back. Extend out through the top of your head. And with your eyes, look back. And then come on up. And now as you go forward, tighten at your kneecap. Push through the ball of your foot and move your navel in towards your spine. The squeeze of your kneecap will tone your quadricep muscles. The push of the ball of your foot will tone the gastrocnemius, muscles in the back of your calf. So when you squeeze your knee strong and the gastroc is strong, your leg gets a very stable without being hyperextended kind of situation. Move your navel in so that you support the weight of your torso with your torso, not with your knee joint. And now turn to the left on your heels. Stay on your forward bend. Turn all the way around. And then come back up to standing. The other thing that happens, like if you're getting a lot of pain, like in that feeling of the bowling ball situation in your neck, a lot of times it's because you've taken your head back, but your chest hasn't led the way. So the more you get the back bend, the more the head follows a natural curve or the lift of your chest. Squeeze your legs, lift your chin. So we do lift your chest here, throat back, head back. But even here, as you back bend and extend through the top of your head, your spine's a little bit more integrated. And use your eyes. And then come on up. Move your navel in, bend forward. Come to Texas and you never sweated in Colorado doing yoga. In Texas, you never don't sweat. Turn plus, everyone's like mad for a turn, a quarter turn to Prasarita, mad for hot yoga in hot Texas. So it's kind of like hot means hot meets hot, and everyone's kind of a maniac for it. Interlace your hands now and stretch your arms up over your head towards the floor, to or towards the floor. Did you bop somebody? Preserving the person's dignity right in front of you. Right? Yeah. Like extra bonus awareness of the perineum.
Don't get Jamie and I started.
And then release your hands to the floor. Okay, let's see. Our row, let's all turn over our left leg. What happens? Does that put y'all into the middle? Yeah. Okay, turn your left leg lunge. And then step forward to Uttanasana. For this one, unless you're particularly stiff in your legs, bring your feet and your legs together. And then place your hands by the sides of your feet, even if you need to bend your knees a little bit to do that. Then with your hands, push forward, down and forward. And that'll help you tone your low belly. And with a little bit of the low belly lift, you can get just your hip bones off your hip flexors enough to move your femur bones back some and get your legs straighter. Roll a little bit of weight into the balls into your a little bit of weight into the balls of your feet so your hips move forward like a wheel.
Here, Christina,
Yeah.
are you doing the same thing where you're stretching the upper back?
Yeah.
So that, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Place your hands on your hips, your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up, stand up. Yes, there's a standing pose thing like the when we've got real stiff beginners, and they bend forward and they look like this. And they're just praying that one day, like their big yoga goal is like, I think it'd be so cool to touch my toes. And we're worried about the round in their back because all this is unsupported, and we do these things like bend your knees, put your hands down. If they're real stiff, they can take their hands even further out and stick their butt out. And we work a lot like that in getting them to bend their elbows out to their sides, squeeze their shoulders on their back so that their beginning uttanasanas look like that. And that's pretty darn fine. But when we start to have like years of that over time, like there's still a lot of people like around the world that I see, and uttanasana is more like our opening uttanasana, and all that hasn't finished uttanasana yet. It's still not in the pose. So to get deeper into the pose to actually finish it, we start folding in. And now a very definitive round comes to the back, but it's round that's supported on the front rather than round that's not supported on the front. And it's here, the round is happening, but flexion at the hip hasn't happened. So the round is happening here because this has stopped moving. But let's say we're in a fairly deep forward bend and the pelvis has made the forward bend. At that point, you actually are wanting the rounded softening of Uttanasana.
That's not like, and so now, because still, my students who've cultivated this strong
Yeah.
practice,
Yeah.
I'm still having them do a lot of this, so I want to start doing that.
Yeah, and it's both, it's like it's both. But so I think a lot of times we definitely want to be conservative in our beginning level students about that roundedness of the spine, because when the lumbar spine, which is designed to be like this, starts to move out, it's a stretch, and that's how we actually stretch the lumbars, is to lengthen them. So stretching them away from their natural position, in my opinion, isn't the problem. It's when stretch becomes overstretch. And when the back is doing the forward bend instead of the pelvis doing the forward bend. And so, but you can feel it like after a while, like if you stop feeling things like, oh yeah, I can hang out in Uttanasana like a long time, but even with a hip distance apart, and even with my elbows wide, even here, so maybe the next step you do is say, squeeze your shoulders, lift your chin, and just pull in. And then you would be like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine to round. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. Yeah. Yeah, I would do that with my beginners, for sure. For sure. Yeah, so it's the difference of like how you work in the stiffer beginners, and then in all levels classes, maybe, you divide the group or you teach everybody the safest way. But you'll find actually a lot of intermediate advanced students have been sticking their butt out in those forward bends for so long, and this has started to get tight. Because the modification that helps the new student open up the back becomes too much of what the intermediate advanced student needs. So that's the hard thing, when we teach it to like a bunch of different people in the same room who have different needs. But a lot of people, like that's where this one is like, I would work both. But where this shape that we worked earlier, where you start with your belly against your thighs, right here you've got the lumbar curve supported. So even though it's round, it's not round unsupported, it's round here. And so you'd keep that, and you've got the sacral situation here. So you would just pull in, keeping that, and if your belly popped off, you'd go back to bent knees. So exactly. It means maybe not that your thighs are back, but it means that your lumbars have support. Yeah, I know. And a lot of it is like the stiffer people are in less danger of getting hurt, right? Okay. All right, so let's do plank pose. And what I mean by that is a stiffer person is like stopped many times. The flexible person can do themselves sometimes more harm because they have more options. All right, so we've got a little bit of core strengthening happening here. A lot of different ways to do plank. So if we do this one, a little bit more of a pushing situation, squeeze your legs and move your navel in. So you could certainly do it by a kind of melt in the heart, but here do a roundedness in your back, almost like you're doing hollowing cat in your upper back. And this pushing straight down action in your arms tones the serratus anterior muscle. This muscle lives underneath your shoulder blades. So the big, strong pushing is good for that. And now move your navel to your spine. And then bend your right knee very slightly. And then bend your left knee very slightly to meet it. And then go to both straight legs. Then push straight down, bend your left knee slightly. Bend your right knee slightly. And straighten both legs. Good, lower down. Fun, right? Okay, then come to your forearms. A forearm plank. Same thing here, push down through your forearms. So instead of squeezing your shoulders towards one another in this, the pushing action will move your shoulders away from your spine more laterally. Move your navel in. And like sometimes when we travel on a plane, Kelly, you'll get like this Men's Health magazine, which is very funny. And not that he gets it, but the magazine itself is funny. Bend your right knee slightly. And they have all these great core strengthening exercises, and almost every month, forearm plank or high plank is in it. Bend your left knee. Straighten your legs. You're fine. You're trapped inside Jalablue. Bend your left knee. Bend your right knee. And then straighten your legs. And then lower your knees. I know, right? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Doing that plank with pulling and tucking and tucking and tucking.
Yeah.
My L5 went.
Yeah, too much. Yeah. Yeah.
So I stay away from that.
Yeah. Again, so that's like when that lengthening, like if you're flatter in your lumbars and you lengthen in the lumbars too much, it's too much of a good thing. If you're
So that's really what it is, just too much of a good thing. And
Yeah.
I just don't need to do that as much.
Yeah. So like these kinds of low belly exercises are really super good for the sway-backed clan of people.
Right.
Because the low belly pulls up. Well, a lot of it for you is finding like instead of like overdoing it as much as you can because you already have a lot of that, you'll actually have to just do a little bit more like almost like you're doing a hamstring curl here to bring your top of your buttocks towards your shoulder blades so that you get a curve in your lumbars. And then so it'd be almost like doing a hamstring curl like that in plank, and that'll tone your lumbars. And then, without changing what you did to your lumbars, move your navel in. So you support that curve. And that looks good. That's a nice curve in your back. Yeah, feels better. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, down dog. Yeah. So, like, that's the thing, we're all somewhat mature people in the room. And, like, the thing about, and many of us teach yoga, so there's no, like, one set of cues that work for everybody, right? So you have sometimes, unfortunately, you learn that one didn't work for me because when I did it, it threw my back out. You know, like sincere effort to do what the teacher said. Okay, plank pose. And that's just the like learning something that's very side plank, sophisticated in a group setting, and we have to do a lot of the fine tuning sometimes because we go over the edge in either direction. And down dog. And then side plank. Good, down dog. Next pose is that same pose with your top leg in tree. So balance on your right hand. And here's one little tip for Vashisthasana is make sure your right wrist is a little bit out in front of your right shoulder, not stacked directly underneath your arm. And that'll be easier on your wrist. Yeah. Then place your left foot in tree pose. And take your left arm straight up to the ceiling. Kind of a new age pose. Okay, down dog. I'm teasing. I call anything that's not pictured in light on yoga, I call it a new age pose. Down dog at 2, second side, Vashisthasana with top leg in tree. Yeah, I like it too. What's nice is it starts to teach us or teach our students that sense of balancing on just the one arm and the one leg, but it doesn't have all of the flexibility required to take that one other top leg up in the ceiling. So it's a really good intermediate stage to work from side plank to the other variations. Down dog. Okay, you're going to love this next one. Okay, come down onto all fours. Sit Vajrasana. Okay, so this one is, you stay where you guys are. You cross your right shin on top of your left calf, right where your calf becomes your lower leg. There's that thick part of your calf, and that's where you want your right shin so that your two heels end up underneath your sitting bones. It'd be awesome. Okay. No. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And you know it's not going to be awesome at all. You like code for that's going to hurt. It's like that's likely to suck. Yeah, so you've got the thick, like that sort of beautiful shapely part of the calf is the gastrocnemius. It's got two heads, and then underneath it is the soleus muscle. And there's this place where the calf, all of that overlaps, all the connective tissue, that sort of the gastrocs connective tissue and the soleus, and that's where your shin bone is. Smashing it, doing deep tissue massage, it hurts, right? What's also cool about this is one of the variations for a pose called Simhasana. So while you're smashing your calf, you get to do the Simhasana breath, which you stick your tongue out and look between your two eyes. We'll do it 3 times. It's so fun. Inhale. 2 more. 1 more. I'm trying to bring that one back. Okay, come on up. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like a 70s like yoga, you know, like, yeah, do you guys do it at Shoshone at the ashram? It's like yeah. Ever, yeah, you know, it's like way back when, exactly. And totally, yeah, right. So it's, yeah, because that was real attractive. But it took your mind off the calf, right? So that's actually like all that intensity, you actually can kind of release it. It's also said to make your cure halitosis. So it's a decrease of heat, I think is kind of what that is. It's a release of extra heat. So inhale. Not that any of you have bad breath. Awesome. Okay, great. Now, yeah. Okay, so when you sit in Dandasana, one of the ways that you can work to get into that same thing, which is also given as a prep for Lolasana, is you press your hands down here and you lift your hips up. Mm-hmm. Then take your left foot underneath your right sitting bone and your right heel underneath your left sitting bone to where you're just in that pose we just did, Lolasana prep. Yeah, and that also starts to train jump throughs. And then here's the thing, with your hands right between your two legs and your heels glued to your sitting bones, you push down and lift up and do 5 breaths, not Simhasana breaths, just breathe, or 5 counts, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I know, 5. Come on down. Other side. My arms aren't long enough. Yeah, like you could actually also here, you tossed me 2 blocks. Great modification for that is blocks because it makes your arms longer. And anytime you're in the situation where you want to learn, your torso is longer than your arms, because you can't sit with your hands flat. So some people are like, hey, what's the big problem? They've got extra like that. And if you want a modification just to get any kind of clearance, you can use blocks. Either way, you push down, lift your hips up, take your right heel underneath your left and your left underneath your right. But the other thing is if you don't have blocks or you don't use them, it's still totally fine because the effort to get off the floor is really what the pose is about, not even getting off the floor. So use your navel, glue your heels. You have to do a hamstring curl to get your heels to your hips, and then you lift up and hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And again, that's that same kind of pushing action. Yeah, well, yeah. And then eventually there's a swinging action. It's called Lolasana, which means tremulous or dangling earring. So there's a dangling quality. All right, push down, don't worry. Lift up. Bring your left heel to your right sitting bone and your right heel to your left. So you're in that same calf smashing situation. Come forward and now take your left heel back behind your right knee and bring your feet as close together. This is a lot like Garudasana. It's not exactly the eagle cross, but sit back here. And you'll feel a smashing again on your calf. Yeah, so those are preps for Lolasana, and they're also those Lolasana preps and the Gomukhasana super good preps for Virasana, which is one of the poses coming next. So your right leg is the top leg. Take your right arm out to the side and turn your right thumb down. Bend your arm. Place the top of your hand to your left shoulder blade. So if you're like me, you're right-armed, very right-armed, this one's super tight in the front of your shoulder. Take your left arm out to the side, turn your left palm up, stretch it over your head, and bend it at your elbow. If you can clasp, clasp. If not, no worries. Your back, did you get it sorted out? You have a real job. Yeah. We have sometimes people come to our practice in Austin and they'll be like, I'm at the dentist, so make sure I'm not on film today. Stretch your left arm up, take your arm out to the side, turn your inner shoulder to your outer shoulder. Stretch your arm up. And then release. Okay, switch sides. Let's go to Dandasana. We'll go through the transition just because it's core strengthening. There's a lot of this sequence. It's really about, this first sequence of our course is all about just getting strength up. Push down, lift up. Take your left heel back. Take your right leg under. Oh, wait, other side. My bad. Shit. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, with the expletives? Probably not. Yeah, right. They would have. Yeah, if they had the expletive, that would have gotten edited. Okay, turn your left thumb down, bend it. Yeah, probably won't get edited out on our channel. Just be like, right. You guys ever see the Dave Chappelle show? Dave Chappelle, a great comedian. I really like him, and I like his work. I don't know him, but he has these great little skits where keeping it real goes wrong. So it would be like some guy in some field of work is like keeping something real, and then it's this whole kind of like descent into hell as a result of keeping it real. So we like all these expletives and keeping it real. And then I always go, yeah, keeping it real. When keeping it real goes wrong. Stretch your arms up over your head. You did when keeping it real? Good. Other side. All right, so all that calf smashing and also those poses stretch our ankles. And a lot of what they help us do is sit well in Virasana. So you come up with your knees together. You may not keep your knees together. You may need to move them further apart, but then separate your feet and look straight back at them. So your shins will be at an angle, but even still, you want to trace a line from the middle of your ankle back to your second toe, so your ankles aren't spinning out to the side. And then sit straight down between your calves. And if as you sit down, you get a little pain in your knees, that you can walk your knees a little further away or elevate your hips. A lot of times that can help. The other thing to try if your knees are a little bit achy in this pose, it's just an action of you turn your toes in briefly and then drag your big toe towards your pinky toe, and that'll tone your outer shins. When your outer shins are toned, they'll go into your knee joint a little bit more optimally. So there's a lot of things to try. But, what's that? Let's do this every Friday. You could. You totally could. Also, while we're here, stay here another minute or so, you take your knuckles, and you can work them down your feet. It's a lot of fun things to do in Colorado that don't make for good Virasana. Like hiking, biking, skiing. Everything fun in Colorado makes Virasana good to do, but not easy to do. But one of the things is this is definitely a pose that involves the stretch in our quadriceps. It also involves it's a pose that involves the hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle joint, and then all the muscles in between those. So some people, you think you can't sit in the pose, and sometimes it's not because our quads are tight, although it might be, but sometimes because the ankle joint's tight, and the lower leg has work to do, or the foot flexibility isn't there. Okay, so when you come out, come forward, and without wiggling or squirming, turn your toes under and just squeeze and restabilize your legs as much as you can to stretch your thighs back. The idea there in that transition is at first you feel creaky, and the tendency is to try to move and kind of pedal your feet and work out the creakiness. But it's a big stretch to the knee joint, and so that transition is there to create a lot of stability, not to just work out the stiffness. Okay, next pose is Supta Virasana. So you go back to your Virasana. And then lie back. And if you need a blanket underneath your back, you use one for sure. I'm setting my timer, not checking my cell phone. So I got the timer set for 2 minutes, which if you practice Supta Virasana regularly, that's a really lovely amount of time to be in the pose. But if you don't practice it regularly, then take it for 30 seconds or so, come up, do that down dog again, then go back to the pose. It's no reason to gut it out. Just fill as much of 2 minutes as you can with Supta Virasana, but taking rest. The other thing is if Supta Virasana, it's not a pose that's good for you, you can do belly down quad stretches. The main thing is to get this basic shape established. Open up the front of the body. And this position would probably be good for your back too. Like it, yeah, if you let the curve come instead of trying to diminish it, it would put the curve back in. It's great to hear that that happened to you. Not that it happened to you, but that what I'll do from now on when I teach that move is actually caution people who are flatter in their lumbars around overdoing it. Yeah.
What happened, Kelly? Because I remember it
Yeah.
was Ray's workshop,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah. It was during the planks. She just, you teach the over tucking. For some people it works,
Yeah.
because they're really weak and they're,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm overdoing it because I want to do the best I can.
Yeah. Well, and come on up. If you're already long in the lumbars like that, and then you're overdoing it, then it's just too much. But she's in the sway back clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And big on core strengthening. Yeah. Come on down. Cross your ankles, sit back on your buttocks, join the soles of your feet together for Baddha Konasana. Place your fingertips back behind you, push your heels together. And so this is kind of like seated tree. Seated two-legged tree. So from your outer knees, kind of like we were working in tree, pull from your outer knee up into your hip. And you could even push the pinky toe side of the foot into the floor. And as a modification, sort of to accentuate the work, lift your inner heels straight up towards the ceiling as you push your pinky toe side of the foot down. Open up your legs a little bit more. And then release. This is a very strange, straighten your legs, very strange version of Supta Baddha Konasana. So you join the soles of your feet together, you turn your palms up and grab your ankles, like so. Sure, that's a, uh-oh.
It's hard to get into.
Yeah. And if you're in that short armed clan that we were talking about earlier, where we quickly got blocks out for Lulasana, then your ankles may feel like they're a mile away. Even here, same way like Baddha Konasana, push your heels into one another. Pull with your hands against your ankles. You don't have to do it crazy, but push your elbows into the floor, and that'll help you lift your chest up. A lot of times, Supta Baddha Konasana comes our way with like bolsters and like eye pillows, and it's a restorative pose. There's a little bit more active version of it. And then release. Bring your feet and your legs, feet to the floor, knees to the ceiling. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Lift your hips up, clasp your hands underneath you, and roll your shoulders underneath you. So part of these are some hip opening postures, and then back to strength, and now some movement of the upper arm bone into the back plane of the body. So we have some arm balances that we've already done, and the ones that are coming that tend to move the arm bone forward, which is fine, but we also want to do counter postures and teach an action back. And then lower your hips down. Okay, half of happy baby. Bring your right knee into your belly, interlace your hands around the sole of your foot. Push your foot into your interlaced hands, your hands against your foot, and then slide your right knee down towards the floor right by your armpit. So you get a stretch to your hip and your hamstring. We're talking about like really doing the yoga really good for your teacher and all that, right? There's this idea in Ayurveda for the Pitta type, and they say that we should do our asana at 70% of what we think it should be. Because we're silently thinking that we're slackers, meanwhile, tending to over effort and everything. And so their protocol for the Pitta Yoga Asana practitioner is 70% of what you think your optimal is. And then release. And other side. Yeah, right. And there's a teacher super enthusiastic, push and pull with your foot in your hands. And they're trying to rev everybody up who's not even up to 25%. And then the pittas in the room are revving already at 120%. And they're the ones that need to get revved up, you know? You know, and then release. The pittas in the room are always the type, they're like, no, 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 I relax. And then we're like, yeah, after your 20-mile bike ride, after you've been hiking all day, then you're relaxing on the couch, you know? Okay. Both-legged happy baby. Push your feet into your hands and your hands against your feet. You can let your hips come up off the floor some and slowly bring your knees down towards the floor.
I guess what it's made me shy away from though is really rounding my back.
Yeah.
At all in some
Yeah.
of these poses, so.
Yeah, and if you're already there, you know, then release. Take your hands underneath the small of your back and push yourself up to seated. Stretch your left leg out. So we did it in recline. Now we do Ekahasta Bujasana. Push your foot into your hands and your hands against your foot. So if you hold on to your foot with your right hand and take your left hand to your waistline, then pull your waistline towards your belly button and you'll be able to bring your knee back further. On the website, I was posting up this sequence with pictures. Hold onto your foot with your hand, your thumb, and I was doing the English translations for this pose, and it really means one leg shoulder squeezing pose, Ekahasta Bujasana. So you squeeze your shoulder, bring your heel to your hip, and then you squeeze your knee to your shoulder. But then both arms have to do Setu Bandha action. Yeah, then lean forward like you did in Lolasana, push up, lift up, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Other side. Right? Then you take your left thumb to your calf and roll your calf towards your ear. So your leg is. Yeah, so like if your calf is here, this way, from behind. So what? Yeah. I mean, from the front view, it's rolling your calf out, but when you grab it from behind, it kind of feels like an in, so I try to stay by your ear, so a little confusing. Then bring your heel towards your hip, squeeze your knee towards your shoulder, and then do Setu Bandha arms as you lean forward and push back. You won't be in that full Setu Bandha back bend by any means, but it's action back, particularly with your left arm. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so this is a brutal way to do this next pose. Let's do it. And I don't mean brutal, like, it's a really good teacher of the next stage of the pose. So if you do, come forward with your feet a little wider than your hips. It's Astavakrasana. Then lift your right heel up off the floor. Take your right thumb to your calf. And again, same kind of action. From behind, roll your calf in towards your shoulder, towards your ear. So this just helps you get in there deeper. Then place your right foot down on the floor and place your right hand on the outside of your right heel on the floor. Then wiggle your left foot across your body and cross it over your right ankle. Now make your arms straight and lower your hips. Squeeze your knees and hold with straight arm position, Astavakrasana. I know. Then once you get straight, go to Chaturanga Dandasana arms. Don't worry. And then go back up straight. I know. So that's the way that Mr. Enger gives it in Light on Yoga. And one of the things that the straight arm stage is so important to practice is because you can do it, and we'll do it again from seated, and everyone will have more success. And you'll like it better, you'll like me better. But we'll try it from standing. But you can do this stage without squeezing your legs together. And it's harder to do, you can't do straight arm stage without the inner thighs. And so the straight arm stage is also important for the transitions that we do in some of the vinyasas. And then also that prep is more like the next pose we do, Dvihasta Bujasana. It's more like that from standing. So it teaches kind of the next poses, even though you can do this pose from a different way easier. So let's just try it from standing. Then we'll do it the easier, more gratifying way. Okay. I know, right? Like so that's the thing is there's a lot of stuff that's, it's not arbitrary. It's sort of, it's worthwhile even if it's not fun. Okay, bend deep. Oh, did you say it wasn't fun? Yeah. But we've already established we prefer the poses we're better at. Okay. Take your left thumb to your calf muscle and work your left shoulder underneath your left leg. That's perfectly makes sense to me. Then pledge your heel down on the floor, place your left hand on the floor, and then you have to walk over with your right foot, cross, squeeze your knees like crazy, so as with straight arms. Yeah. And then once you've got straight arms, go to Chaturanga Dandasana arms, and then back to straight arms. Yeah.
It's the straight arm vision. I've never done that before.
Yeah. Right, yeah. And that one is a core strengthening one to maintain that. It's the same, right, Lolasana push. And that is a big core strengthener. So let's try it from Ekahasta Bhujasana. You'll like it better. Same one, Astavakrasana, but from seated. I'll talk you through it. You take your leg over your shoulder, clamp. That's the squeezing. Then cross your ankle. And then here, with straight arms, push down and squeeze your legs straight. So you can do it from here. Many people much easier. Yeah. Yeah. And then Chaturanga Dandasana arms. That's fine. And then up. Straight up. Yeah. Hey, and so the first goal in all these is just getting some air, getting some effort going. And then, but so like Jenna, you can work on, because you got the pose really good. So the next refinement is when you're up, what happens for almost all of us is see how my hips swung to the side? And I actually want my hips in line with my head. So that's the line. And then that gives you a spinal twist that doesn't. Tendency is our hips just swing. But don't worry about that if you're not up off the floor. Okay, try it second side. Yeah. Super common. That's better though. So bring them a little bit more to your right. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Better. Yeah. So yeah, good adjustments. Yeah. The rib breaking, yeah, that's common. Well, they're really not in danger of breaking. So when it just feels. In the intercostals? Maybe, yeah. I don't know. But this one, probably not. Probably you're feeling like a sense of, unless they're already out. Like sometimes if you come to yoga and something, like you can't get the alignment to fix something, a lot of times you just came misaligned, and no matter all the good alignment principles we do, if the rib is out, you're not going to get your rib back in. So sometimes it feels like your rib is breaking, but it's that your rib is already out. Chiropractor puts it back in, you're good to go. But it's a big, yeah, and big abdominal work with a twist. So you might feel like almost like a cramp. Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're doing the pose. So we worked that one from standing because it helps us with this one, Bhujapidasana, which is one or two legs, so you can go, step one at a time or hop. And so this one's more like the Astavakrasana, right, where you get your legs underneath your shoulders and you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And if you hadn't learned how to squeeze your legs on the last one, you can't do this pose at all. So that's like Astavakrasana is kind of like that bridging pose between Ekahasta Bhujasana and the Dvihastas. Okay, try it from down dog. That'll be fun.
So just crossing the ankle.
Yeah, cross on one side. Yeah, just cross with. No, I got it. Chop or step, and you get your legs beyond your wrists. Yeah, and then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So to get underneath your shoulders, you sometimes have to widen your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders to get underneath there. But before you take the arm balance, walk your feet back in closer. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, squeeze your knees like crazy. Do it from the inner thigh. That's it, like that. Yep. And then change the cross of your legs. Oh, good. Yeah. And then release. Good times. All right, that's fun. Okay. Bujapidasana which means shoulder or arm squeezing. Yeah, which is kind of like, one of those things, like some of the poses are named after the sages and the saints, and then this little section is like one leg shoulder squeezing pose. And it's totally not sexy, but tells you what the pose is about. It's this buja. Pita means pressure. Buja is arm or shoulder, so it's pressure on the arms, squeezing the arms. It is pressure on the arms. So try it again.
So puja, like in Bhujangasana, or is the same root or not?
Yeah, I would have to look that up to make sure. I would think so. But there's like pita, pressure. You see it in other postures too. Step or jump forward. Karnapidasana is like when you're in shoulder stand and you bring your knees down by your ears. Karna means ear, pita means pressure.
Again, the same thing?
Yep. Second time's a charm.
Your legs are way more on your shoulders.
Yeah, you got to put your legs on your shoulders like a backpack. Yeah, right? I had beginner's luck on the first time.
My other legs are wide, the trails in there.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Okay, face this way and do Upavishta Konasana. When we put all this together, so these then will become, a full sequence. We just do the arm balances one after the other, but this sequence is about, breaking them down and doing a little bit of rest and preparatory work between the two, and so make it a little bit more palatable. Okay, take your hands back behind your hips, and again, if you lift your heels all the way up, just for contrast, you really know you've got your legs tight. And then I'm going to say dig your heels into the floor and point your toes as you scoot your pelvis forward, and you go almost towards Samokonasana, not just Upavishta Konasana, really get your inner thighs some opening. Oh yeah, that's a Darren Rhodes special. We can give him credit for that. I've been talking about this a lot this year, these basic hip opening positions of Virasana, which we've already done, the internal rotation of the femurs, and then we did Baddha Konasana, external rotation, and then this lateral movement, the abduction, the abduction of the leg in the socket. So you just are doing some hip opening at the level of moving the bone in the hip socket. And a lot of arm balancing success is arm strength, sure, but a lot of it is hip opening and core strength. So you see the sequence has an emphasis on opening up the hips and also this core strengthening work. Good. Bring your legs back around to the front. All right. Come on up to standing. I'm going to do Malasana next. Bring your feet and your legs together. So sometimes if we really work on Malasana and take a lot of time on Malasana, we get the props out and prop up the heels. But you can do this without a prop underneath your heel. But if you have a blanket handy, absolutely you can use it too. Take your hands forward and come up onto your fingertips, and then come up onto the balls of your feet. Put weight into your hands, and that's just that stage right there, putting some weight into your hands, is just to take some out of your knees now when you bend your knees and bring your hips to your heels. And then bring your heels as close to the floor as you can. And again, you can slip a little prop underneath there, like a little blanket. If your heels are way off the floor, then go ahead and prop them. It's totally fine. So this is very similar. Our legs are very similar to that work that we did in Ekahasta Bhujasana. Take your left hand to your right waistline and pull your waistline through. And then take your left hand to your right hand to your left waistline and pull the part of yourself through so that you can reach forward and lift your chin up. The first stage of lifting your chin up will help create the lumbar curve in this rounded shape. And you might, if your back is sensitive, say, hey, this is the stage I'm staying at. It's totally fine. Okay, now take your hands back behind you with your palms face up. And again, you want to be, if you start to feel what feels like a stretch in your lower back, great. If stretch starts to feel like overstretch, don't push the pose. It's a deep forward bend. Move your navel to your spine. That'll help also. Then reach your hands towards the back end of your sticky mat. It's like an unplugging action. And then shrug your shoulders, tuck your chin to your chest, and pull yourself in as deep as you can. Reach your forehead to the floor or to your feet. Good. Place your hands by the sides of your feet. Keep your belly very close to your thighs as you lift your hips up. Come to Uttanasana, out of Malasana. Squeeze your legs, place your hands on your hips, bring your shoulders towards one another. Lift your chin up and come on up. Okay, Malasana is a great prep for Bakasana. So, Bakasana. Place your hands down on the floor, come up onto the balls of your feet and squat. And you don't need a prop for this one because you're just going to do an arm balance anyway. Okay. Stretch your arms. Get your armpit far down your shin. Get your left armpit far down your shin. Then come up onto the balls of your feet. Squeeze your knees and come forward into your hands. First, you get any kind of clearance, like any kind of balance with your knees on your armpits. Then move your navel in, and it's a plank situation to get your arms as straight as you can. Good, good. All right, good, come on down. So here's a really good drill for that pose, which is to get a block. So one of the things is, I mean, you know what, get any kind of air is really good. Like, we're like, hey, woo. You know, that's a good day. And, you know, like if you teach, I have a teacher or a teaching style like my own or a practice inner teacher like me, then you're like, well, that's good, but this is better, you know, and you start to hear only the things that the teacher's always dishing out to make it more refined. Other teachers don't ever give you that, and they're just like, it's great no matter what, you know, so it's sort of extremes. So I want to make sure we know any air is good. You know, really happy. And over time, once you're comfortable with any kind of air and you have the confidence, or if you have students, your students have the confidence that they're kind of balancing and they can support their weight, that's a big day. And as that happens over time, more days in a row, what we're looking for more and more is that the hips stay low, lower and lower. And that so we tend to be kind of doing this kind of balance, and we want the shins up parallel to the floor. It's serious in the wrist and the hips lower, rather than what tends to happen for most of us is the hips get higher and higher and the weight pitches more and more forward. So this little launch pad can help a lot to keep the hips low because you get down deep and you come up, just launch into it. And then once you've got your weight here, squeeze your knees, move your navel in, and it's all of your plank work. Okay, try it from your launch pad, see if it gives you anything. Main thing is hips low.
You gave a great pointer last time you were here on this, and I don't know why it makes a difference, but I guess my feet were kind of like this.
Yeah. Inner feet is huge, right? Yeah, so Alex is reminding me of like the other big thing is that what tends to happen is our big toes are doing the work or our ankles are sickling. But when we really work the inside edges of the feet together, what you get is the strength of the inner thighs by that. Outer shins will tone with that, and your inner thighs will tone. And so you get, we might just say loosely, the inner thigh strength and the outer shin strength is all the power of the midline, that vertical axis of the body. So this will be the tendency. It'll be awesome. Yeah. I know. This one also has like claw marks and I know. I go to some studios and you see bite marks on it. Yeah. You're like, this is what it's come to, my yoga practice. So you get down low, you crawl in as deep as you can. Yeah. Yeah, and then you just, it's again, you think it's a bird, or it's a bird. That's awesome, Cal. It's a bird taking flight, and keep your hips low as you squeeze into it. That's better. Hey, way better. Yeah, then inner ankles, inner heels, inner big toe. That's better. Yeah. Perfect. That's good, though. It's a new orientation to balance, so if it's new, it's new. And so then and then, so you have big toes, inner heels. And like some of y'all heard me tell that story, like I got that correction, like from John Schumacher, who's a Iyengar teacher of mine, and I'll do it for the camera. It's like I'm doing my pose, and I think I'm rocking it, and I am. I got my arms straight. I know my shins are up high, and I'm doing really good. And he's saying, bring the inner edges of your feet together. Bring the inner edges of your feet together. You know, he's making this point, says it several times, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, would that person get it together? You know, like in my mind. and then he's like, Christina Sell, bring the inner edges of your feet together. I was like, oh, me. It's like, note to self, if the teacher says it again, it might be you, you know? So, all right, so try it one more time. With the inner edges of your feet together, make a clear distinction. It's not the only right way. You know, it's not wrong with the big toes. What it gives you with the inner edges is more power.
I just have a hard time with Cobra.
Yeah. It's hard. Inner thighs. And in Cobra, your butt's working against it. The strength of the gluteals is working against the clarity of the inner thighs. Good. That's better. Yes. Hey, way better. Way better. Yeah, way better. That's it. Spread your toes, bring the inside edges. Yeah, way better. Yeah, smart feet. Good. All right, so this one is Supta Padangusthasana 2 with the leg out to the side. So down dog, last one of these, because we've been squeezing the legs together super strong. Inner thighs have worked, so now I want to do a stretch. Oh, I actually have a Supta Padangusthasana prep. Might as well do it. Okay, lie down on your back. Sorry, transition. That was not in the choreography. Okay, bend your right knee up, grab hold of the outside edge of your right foot. Okay, now with your knee bent, take your knee as far to the right as you can, almost like you're doing a variation of tree or something. And then straighten your leg to the side. So a lot of times, you know, we take this shape and we go straight up to the ceiling and then out to the side. But for this one, we kept it bent and went out to the side. And this should feel good because if you got that Bakasana work, you had massive work to your inner thighs happening. Heavy sigh in the group. Okay, other side, bend your leg. I say, you know, it's a tantric path, so if someone's foot bothers you, you've got trouble coming. Okay, bring your knee out to the side with your leg bent. Bring your leg out. This would also be the modification for Vashisthasana. Let's say your wrists have had enough doing arm balances, or you're trying to get through some arm balance practice and your arms are tired, or you have an injury. You could do this as a modification for the next one. Also, release this one. Roll to your left side. And place your left hand on your head, so you're in Anantasana. This would be another modified form for Vashisthasana 2. So it's the same thing. Bring your knee out to the side and as far up towards the ceiling as you can and as straight as you can. Even if you can't get it all the way straight because you have a little tightness in your lower leg, keep a hold of your foot with your leg bent. And this one is not as easy as it looks. There's a balancing scenario. I know, right? It's deceptive. You're like, we're lying on the floor. How hard could this be? Okay. Yeah, other side. That's right. This one's not written on the sequence, but it's good modification. Also, if you're teaching level 1 students a progression towards this would be a good one. Good. Good, and then release. Now roll over onto your belly and go to down dog. Okay, put that up in. Balance on your left foot and your left hand, Vashisthasana. Grab hold of your right foot and the outside edge of your right hand and the outside edge of your right foot. Then here, bring your knee towards the ceiling, kind of like a tree prep, and take your right leg as high to the ceiling as you can. And then release, down dog. Second side. You can grab the big toe. That's fair. Yeah. Either is fine. You get different things from each. So absolutely, grab the big toe is a fine form. It's the more classic form, in fact. And then when you're ready, down dog. Okay, lie down on your belly. Okay, I know, amen. Okay, Sphinx pose. Take your elbows underneath your shoulders and line your forearms up parallel to one another. And then bring your feet and your legs together. Kelly's using the wall over there. He's run out of room. Okay, lift your chin slightly, same neck work. Only we're not, so it's a slightly different position in the arms. Then give yourself your throat back. With your elbows, pull back towards your hips, and you'll feel your upper back engage. So it's elbows back, chest forward, throat back. Those kind of things work in opposition. Then press your head back and look up and lift your chin towards the ceiling. And then release. So I call this next one Rising Sphinx, but it's also in the Bikram series, they call it Cobra, but it's a different Cobra than the one I call Cobra. So anyway, we're naming things. And here's your goal here. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and squeeze your elbows into your sides. And this one is a little bit different than sort of the Cobra if you've been trained in Anusara Yoga or even Iyengar Yoga. It's a little different. So pull your elbows down towards your waist. So there's actually a depression of the shoulder girdle here, and the elbows in will stabilize that position of your arms. So you've got a few parameters. Bring your feet and your legs together, and your belly button stays down on the floor. So you press your pelvis down and keep your belly button down. Now use your strength primarily in your back to lift up, but keep your belly button down. And you lift up until your arm becomes a right angle. Forearm and upper arm becomes a right angle, and your belly button is down. So to a certain point, elbows in, elbows towards your waist. Belly button down, chest forward. Drag the heels of your hands towards your hips to take your chest forward, chin up, throat back, head back. I know. Lower down. Yeah, and it's not the Cobra of the big open heart. So when we do these big Cobras, it's the Cobra of the big open heart, and the pubic bone is down. This one is down with the belly button down and the arms in and your hands down. And this is the Cobra that stabilizes and strengthens your lower back. Okay. So this is the Cobra that bends your upper back right around the T12 vertebrae to get a big chest opener. But this one, and they have this saying in the Bikram yoga community, they say, using in their dialogue, in their sort of script that they use when they teach, they say, using 100% of your back strength, come up. And I was in this class, one of my favorite teachers who teaches Bikram yoga, and she said, it doesn't say don't use any of your arm strength. And I was like, well, yeah, but most of us fill in the blank, and we hear use 100% of your back strength, we fill in the blank, and none of your arm strength. But she said it means 100% of your back strength and enough of your arm strength to finish the posture into the form with the right angles. So what does that mean for us? Here. And the other thing is that by this position, a lot of us have spent a lot of time training this. So it's a different position. It's more like Garudasana. It's more like what we're about to do, Mayurasana. So what you have is your shoulder blades on your back but moving laterally, and stabilized. And so it's a low back bend, whereas here, when you squeeze your shoulders onto your back, in this position and bend, you get a different, it's just a different muscular effect. They're just different. So this one is to stabilize the shoulder girdle to get the lower back to work. This one is mobilize the shoulder girdle to get the upper back to work. There's different visions of postures for different effects. But when we are coming up here, let's try, we're going to do it in steps so that we go okay, look, 100% of my back strength to get me up. Then enough of my arm strength till this happens to be 90. Yeah? That's great. And don't worry, we're only doing this one once. More. Okay. Okay. Squeeze your elbows in, draw your elbows towards your waist. So you just sort of lock and load that in place. Then using 100% of your back strength, squeeze your legs and lift up. You'll feel it in your back, low back. Then place your palms down and use a little bit of your arm strength, keeping your belly button down to get your arms divert. That's it, yes. Now, if your low back starts to hurt, pull your wrists toward your hips and take your chest forward, less up, more forward, look up. And then release. I know, keeping the legs together is big. Yeah. The other thing is that when the legs are together and we use our back muscles, like the buttocks muscles and the back muscles, then the adductors are working in relationship to the gluteal muscles. If our legs are going out and turning out, our gluteal muscles are overtaking. So you can use your butt in these back bends, but if you use your butt and your adductors, you have a more balanced action. So it's safer for the piriformis muscle, the gluteus minimus muscle doesn't get its overworked because the adductors are working.
Even for beginners, would you have them bring their legs together?
For these, yeah, I wouldn't for full cobra. It'd be too much. They'd get jammed. Yeah.
Okay, so not for full cobra.
But in light on yoga, if you look up full cobra, like this cobra, not the one we just did, but this, it's actually a legs together position. But most people with their legs together coming up that high will take it in their lumbars. Yeah. You can overcome that, but it's way more advanced. So, yeah.
Why don't you have the legs together in cobra but apart in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana?
Really different poses. I think also Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, a lot of that's happening in your sun salutation. So functionally, your legs are going to be hip distance apart for a lot of that. And then also Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, it's the way that he teaches it in light on yoga, it's a strength pose, so he doesn't have as big of a bend when you look at his crazy back bend as in cobra. So I think he's going after a deeper bend. And anytime in these back bends, we can bring our feet and our legs together. It's John Friend actually used to describe that like a toothpaste tube. If you squeeze the bottom, all that energy is going to go up through the spine, but it's harder. So it simultaneously creates a deeper bend, but requires that you can bend more deeply. Gives it to you. So I think it's just he's showing this super full, deep cobra pose as here's what's possible in cobra, but it's not usually where anyone starts, and very few of us ever get anywhere near that. All right, that's practical. Okay, this will be fun. Take your hands underneath you. Oh, yes. Least favorite brutal pose ever.
It'll become my favorite one day when I can do it.
I don't know. I think it's hard. Okay, so here's the thing. This is another one where less pressure comes to your elbows if you work your hands towards your knees. You won't get them towards your knees, but the more you work your hands down towards your legs, the more your chest is on your upper arm and not on your elbow joint itself. So with your palms, if you push down and towards your feet and reach your chest into the middle of the room, it's going to help a lot. Then you put your, and look straight ahead, squeeze your right leg and lift your right leg up 45 degrees angle with the floor. And relax your left leg and keep both hip bones on your arms so that your hips stay square. And this one's a big butt one. Okay, good. It doesn't give you a big butt. It just is a, okay. Keep both fists on your forearms. Squeeze your leg straight and stretch your leg. And again, instead of trying to lift it up, reach it back and then lift it up. So the lengthening of the leg out from the socket will actually make it easier. And then turn your kneecap down towards the floor so that you're using that inner thigh work and your butt. Okay, then release. All right, tell yourself you will try this one very hard.
I will try this
Okay, take a solemn bow. Okay, then put your mouth down. Work your hands underneath you and more towards your knees and tighten your kneecaps. And it could be that that's all that you do. You can also slip your hands out to the sides and modify with your palms down. It's totally fine. And then pressing your palms down and towards your feet, lift your legs up off the floor. Reach your chest towards the center of the room.
And your mouth is still on the floor. Right?
Yep. Press down, lift up, and then come on down. I know. It's brutal, right? Slowly, your arms, you have to get them out. That did? Yeah, that's what it's, one of the things it said to do. Secure tennis elbow. But in the meantime, it makes you just feel like you're going to break your arms or something. It hurts so bad. Yeah. And no, it's pretty brutal. And and also like just think, there's hyperextended elbows, and this pose could be could create a hyperextension in the elbow, in which case we would say that's not good. Right. So one of the things that, if the action underneath the pose is the pressing of your palms into the floor, you're slightly bending your elbows. So even as your whole weight is pushing your arms straighter, you have to do that. So that's the action that protects the hyperextension in this form. Okay, so that being said, also, they do this one in every class in Bikram yoga, and they say this thing in their dialect. Elbows are supposed to hurt. Okay, so what do we think they mean? Like, oh, you're supposed to injure yourself? Probably not, right? But probably what it means is it's going to be super freaking intense. And so it's a very strong sensation. So I never say something's supposed to hurt, but I would say it's very normal that it hurts a lot. At the same time, everyone has to go, wow, my teacher doesn't seem concerned about my elbow, but I'm concerned about my elbow. And so everyone has to calibrate when you hear that. I'm being a little joking, and you guys have a good sense of humor about it, but it's really normal that it hurts. And I'll tell you, like, if I go out, like we were riding our bikes, using my arms, and I come back and I do this when I haven't done it, that is just brutal. And I haven't felt any, like, elbow problems as a result of doing that. That being said, like, I would never say it's supposed to hurt, and I'm not worried about it. The other thing is that position makes a difference in this pose, so that if we're, I don't know if you can see it from the side real well, but if we're here shrugged up, then the weight of my torso is right on my elbows. And it's really different if I'm here. So what I guess maybe it's hard to see because it's scrunched. If I don't have my arms pulled down and they're here, then all the weight's coming right at my elbow when I go up. But if my hands are down here and I'm doing this, it's exactly the best prep for peacock. So it's in this sequence getting us ready for peacock. At the same time, honestly, the modification for it starts with no weight on your elbows, just pressing straight. And then a little bit, and then a little bit. And maybe like you're saying, you know what, I'm just going to lie here while she's saying lift your legs, and I'm going to imagine that my legs are lifting up. But I'm just going to feel the stretch in my elbows and press my palms, and that is my pose. So again, that's a long answer because it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's normal that it hurts. Is it really desirable that anything hurts? At the same time, and I tell the people this all the time about Bikram, he's one of those people that would lie on a bed of nails while they ran over him with a motorcycle. And so I kind of think those things are subtext or like, you spoiled white person, like I'm kind of joking, but his relationship to it is different than ours. Yeah, and I'm not saying his is better, mind you. I think God, a huge thing if every one of us and people practicing yoga just developed a respect for our limits and a healthy, relationship to our strong sensations, then yoga would be that'd be good yogic aim for our whole life. Is like, hey, I stop when it really hurts and I don't harm myself with this. Because that would be my yoga too. Not like get over your pain. It's mind over matter. Suck it up. Why? Okay, so let's do this one. Interlace your hands behind your head. Strong finish here. Push your elbows down, suck your armpits back, squeeze your legs together. Press your pelvis down, lift your legs up, lift your elbows up. Makrasana. So as you squeeze your inner ankle bones together, lift your legs up, press your hands into your head. It's counterintuitive. And push your head up against your hands. Lift up, look up now, go up, and then release. I know. All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for, Mayurasana, might as well try it. It's got that Makrasana lift of the back bend. It's got the Shalabhasana variation lift. And so again, here's your big setup. It's the same thing that if we're doing this pose here with our hands right on our high up, it's very hard to do, but if you get them down by your belly button, much better. So some folks have, here's one attempt. You come in very deep and reach your elbows towards your belly button, and then work your feet back. And then you lift your chin up. And then it's just the movement forward and Makrasana, that pose you just did. Try it. So to get yourself forward, though, it's that same action. It's that kind of thing, which is how we lifted our legs up. Okay, give it a whirl. Try it. It'll be awesome. Kelly always likes to remind us, we might have said this last time we were here, that if you get your elbows, aim them towards your pubic bone, you'll get them towards your belly button. If you aim towards your belly button, a lot of times you get your lower ribs. So the more you get down to your belly button, the more you get to your lower belly. And you have to tone your belly like, oh, there you go. Look at that. Rock hard abs. Yeah. You have.
Nice, Jenna.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And then all you have to do is squeeze your legs together. Uh-huh. And come, instead of lifting your legs from where you are, if you straighten your arms a little bit, it'll bring you that little bit forward. It'll also feel like you're about to fall on your face. Yeah. There it is. Tighten your belly, tighten your belly. Yeah, there it is. That was awesome. So the sort of subtext of the pose is you got to make your belly like rock hard. That's it. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's picture it, that's all like this.
The other way to try it is some people have like more luck that way, like digging in first. And then the other way to try it would be to set your arms up and come in from the side like above. And this is where, if you're here and you're trying to lift up, it's impossible. So this is the part that's scary. It's that forward. And my arms go from from forearms vertical to not vertical at all. And that movement forward is the pose. I have good proportions for this pose, though, short legs. I did on that one. Yeah, so sort of two entries. One, many people who have trouble getting their elbows in have an easier time setting it up here. But just as many people have more luck up here. I think it's easier to tone my belly coming down on that one. So try it both ways, or if you have a favorite, do one. But I just, try to think like the person next to you may be able to do it one way and you do it and some of it's probably proportions of where you're natural. There it is. Yeah, I want a freaking picture. There it is. Squeeze your legs together. That's it, like that. Both legs at a time. And there'll be like one leg behind you. There it is. Uh-huh. Tighten your knee. You've got a massive rounded shoulder and a lift of your neck. So it's a hard position for your neck. Like when you have your arms back and your throat back, everything's happening naturally for your neck. When your arms are this far forward and you lift your neck, the back of your neck is short. It's a strong position for your neck. So you could lift your chin a little bit, but not so much that you feel strain in your neck, and then use your eyes to look forward more. There it is, Jenna. That was good.
I think it's my wrist that freaks me out though. If I'm holding it for a while.
Yeah, it's crazy major. Yeah. All right, one more before Dhanurasana. You don't even have to go big in this back bend. This is a counter pose Dhanurasana. So you grab the tops of your feet. We're not really working on Dhanurasana, but we did all that forward fold, all of that forward action. Press your pelvis down, lift your legs up. Lift your chest, lift your chin, lift your throat back, then look up. You can. It's just, it's different, two different poses. Yeah. And then release. All right, down dog. Well, Dhanurasana, that's one of those poses in the sequence that would be like, not necessarily because Dhanurasana, not because we prep for it, but because it's a good counterpose for Mayurasana. So you can make Dhanurasana prep for it feel a lot better than it just did. Take your right leg forward to pigeon prep. It's the thing about sequencing and bend forward. When a pose is used as a peak pose, and every pose has led towards it, it feels a certain way. When you use that same pose, for instance, Dhanurasana after Mayurasana, it doesn't necessarily feel the same way, but it's good to do because it moves you in the opposite direction. No, you don't. Come on up. Sit into your right leg. Ardha Matsyendrasana, a simple variation. There's merit, right, as teachers. There's merit to being able to do the pose and show people how to do it. It's great. And then there's also a great gift we give our students when we say, this is how I'm struggling through it. Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah, right. Take your left leg back to the back of your mat. Bend forward between your two legs. And then come on up. Place your right hand down on the floor. Lift your hips up. Stretch up. Stargazer. Those of you just meeting me, I'm meeting this pose. I always call this one a new age pose. It's kind of like flash dance. And someone a long time ago said, well, no, it's called Stargazer. And I was like, really? Anyway, down dog. So I say it and make fun of it. But I do keep doing it. Yeah. Bring your left leg forward, pigeon prep. Kind of feels like a yawn for the body, that pose for me. Hasn't rained in a couple hours. Come on up. Sit into your left hip. Take your right leg over. I know, man. They're getting hit. Take your right leg to the back of your mat.
Come on up, stargazer. I know, doesn't it? It's like, ah.
I do that in my studio.
Down. It's a certain age demographic, right? I think that references flash dance.
That reminds me of a story, Christina, that I really want to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you on camera and everybody else, but it's pretty crazy.
Okay. Okay, when the camera stops rolling, we gotta hear Jenna's story. Child's pose. I was teaching sometime recently, I might have said this with y'all too, and I was making some joke about the 80s, and I looked around and then I did a survey of how many people in the room were born in 1985 or something, and over half my room, was like born in the 80s, not watching Flashdance then. It's happened, I've gotten old. Okay, good, come on up, cross your ankles, and so next pose is halasana, plow pose, and or shoulder stand, and or you can do, if you legs up the wall, a legs up the wall pose. And the main thing is when you do this pose without props, like absolutely use props, and so you absolutely can do that. But one thing to keep in mind is if you're going to do it without a prop, super fair game to not even go for a straight up and down position. The more that I would try to get my hips over my shoulders, then the more pressure is going to come into my neck. So we're just going to do a real short one, which is why it could take just like a minute to be up like that. Just get a little bit of the benefit of the feeling. And don't go for crazy straight, but just get a sense of, oh yeah, upside down.
Shoulder stand really quick, because this came up the other day, but do you still strongly believe, obviously you do, and teach, if you're spending more time on it with the blankets and everything like I've learned from you and Darren? Okay.
Yeah. I like it. Again, when I practice it without props, I do exactly like I said. I just don't push it as straight, because my neck can't take it. My shoulders can do it, but my neck can't. I can't get my neck that flat. So like earlier in class, we were talking about the problems that come when you take your head back. Well, there's other neck issues that come when you take it really strongly forward. But if you would think about over time a balanced practice that we really took our head back and we were doing these big forward bends, we would have the fairly full range of motion in our neck, but most of us have some kind of something not so great, because most of us are living, a lot of us are living with our head slightly, if not significantly forward of the body, and so the neck takes a hit with that forward head position. So, and the more and more as time goes on and the bigger classes get with fewer props and all of that, I think it's harder and harder to teach the pose in a public class safely. So I think like what also different to like say, here, like don't be so straight up and down and hold it for a minute, is actually in some ways safer than get everyone onto props and make them hold it for 5. Because it's less time, less extreme, and they just get the sense of going up. So I'm more of the mind these days, spend a little bit of time up, not being so pristine on the straight up and down line. And what if someone spent several years for a minute up at a time, just getting used to the position, and then slowly you got it straighter, and then you introduced props. So it wasn't like some new person, new to the pose, new to upside down, new to the position, new to the props, new to the whole thing, and it takes up 20 minutes of your 60-minute public class.
Well, I was teaching about props, I always do, but a couple of the students were like, I just don't like the props, I feel comfortable without the props. I was like, then no, you don't have to use
Yeah,
props.
yeah. And the danger thing, and we never know, and I hate to be like the teacher who threatens, but there are things that happen for yoga, so the only caveat around is that sometimes our small misalignments or the things that we do today don't show up until 3 years from now. Right. And so you like it better now without the props. But it doesn't mean that just because you don't have a problem now that you won't, but at the same time, we're going to have problems. Do a shoulder step. Like a minute or two. The danger of saying if you don't do it this way, you'll get hurt, is that people still get hurt. Not because we want them to or they want to or anyone's doing anything exactly wrong. Yeah, right? Right. They earned it. No, it really, like our imbalances show up, like Jenna was saying, oh, my hips are real different. Yeah, that's super common for all of us, and they just show up over time, small little things. Slowly roll out one vertebrae at a time. And then stretch your legs straight, bend your elbows, and lift your chest up. And then it's the same neck work. Chin up, throat back, 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 back. Head back so the top of your head's on the floor. And then when you feel like you've counterposed efficiently on your neck, you just relax straight. Shavasana. The idea in a practice like this to build some strength, try some hard poses, but not to be hard about it. And the whole point of Shavasana is after all that work to simply surrender your effort, surrender your weight, and surrender whether you feel like you achieved or failed, and simply rest in that great energy you brought to your practice.
Slowly deepen your breath. Gently bend your knees and carefully roll to your right side. Roll a little bit more towards the floor. Use your arms and push yourself up to seated. And sit for a moment with your eyes closed. Place your hands together in front of your heart. Let's end with one Om. Inhale. Namaste.